So here's all the figures that will be in today's video. That will be, well, mostly all of them. Obviously, as you can see, I didn't use all of them, but they'll be all in today's video. Enjoy. So yeah, hey everybody. Today we'll be going over the best to worst figures that Jakks Pacific has made for Sonic the Hedgehog throughout the years. And of course, well, this year at least, we're going to start from best to worst, you know, ranking scale on the figures, whatever. And since we're counting only this year, we'll start from wave 10 to 14, and with prime stuff too. So as it goes for classic Mecha Sonic, the 2.5-inch one in the Christmas check lanes, those will be another video, I think, with something else, or just a Christmas video or something. Obviously I got these three, but the other Christmas check lanes are, you know, different. So let's start with wave 10. All right, so here's wave 10 that we're starting off with. So the best figure, I'm gonna have to say, goes to Vector. Let's slide these over for a minute. Now you're probably wondering why Vector. I mean, Ray's pretty good too in the wave. Yes, you're right, but we're gonna start with him first, obviously, and that's because, well, I mean, he obviously can move his jaw, and he was one of the first chaotics to actually get a figure in a long time, since Jazzwares made a figure of Vector. And the fact that we're getting him was very exciting, and we could not wait for him. So props to Jakks on this one, because, I mean, not just his sculpting and his painting and everything is great on him, it's also because he was the first chaotic in a long time that we got of a character. So that's why he gets the best. Now, if you're wondering if one gets the worst in wave 10, no, not necessarily. Obviously, if it was the re-release classic Sonic we got back waves ago, then I'd say, yeah, that's pretty much the worst one. But no, there's not really the worst one, so we'll just go over the rest of the best ones in the wave, and then I'm pretty sure wave 11 will have some pretty bad figures, but we'll see. So another best one is this one. I know you guys are just like, but this classic Sonic is obviously just, you know, another re-release, but this time he looks a lot better. Yes, that's true. But he's also a good one because this is actually a better looking classic Sonic than the old one. And it's 10 times better than the original as well. So that's another reason. Or that's another best one. Now, Ray falls in the best one because, obviously, first we got a 2.5-inch figure of him. And one day we were expecting a 4-inch figure of him, and it happened. So this one's also great, not just because of the sculpting, the coloring, and the articulation, whatever. It's also because this is our first Ray the Flying Squirrel figure we got ever. I mean, ever. And Mania Plus came out in 2017, 2018 maybe. And if you think about it, Tomy didn't do anything for Mighty and Ray until Jakks came along. So that's why I'm putting this one in the best figure rank too, because this is the first figure we've ever basically got. Now the Amy's between the middle, I'd say, to the best and worst. She's the best because this is the first Amy we got in a while. Tomy was going to do a figure of her, but didn't get to. And we got this one instead, but it looks pretty good. But you're probably wondering, what's the worst part about it? That smile. I don't know, but to me it kind of just looks like what a psychopath would kind of just, you know, have for a smile, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Just something's a little weird about it to me, but the rest of it is perfectly fine. So there's wave 10. Let's move on to 11. Now, here is wave 11. Now, we're going to start with the worst figures because, honestly, we just did a ranking of all the best figures, and they're basically all of them from wave 10. So, I think it should be fair enough to start with the worst first instead of the best. So, we're going to put these two over here as the worst. Now, you're probably wondering why. This is also a Knuckles from Wave 2 as well, so, and Wave 4, but, why, you may ask? Well, because we've gotten so many of these at this point that why can't you just make a new sculpt for him, or why can't you just make a new figure like Classic Knuckles or something? And also because, I don't know, something just about that smile feels very blank about it, and then the shoes are just way too big for what they are, and that's what they've been doing with the Knuckles for the longest time, and those were the biggest issues, especially mine. Look at mine. It looks like the joint here is going to fall off at any time or any day now.
Why are you like this?
So, yeah, some of the paint errors are obvious on here, but that shouldn't be an issue, really. I mean, for collectors, probably, but I don't care all that much unless it's not, like, all over the figure, then that's the problem. But if it's, like, a few splooges, then fine, I can put up with it. But, yeah, this is one of the worst figures of Wave 11. Same goes with the Sonic. Now, he was okay in the first wave and, you know, the other few waves he was re-released in, but I just hated that he was back with Mighty in the wave, and then all of a sudden he's just dropped in with a Chaos Emerald, like a purple Chaos Emerald, and if you wanted to, all you could do was just wait, and then a few years later, or a year or so later, you could literally find the purple Chaos Emerald, and probably I think it was the Advent Calendar, and then something else. So, yeah, it got boring quickly with this one, and we kind of wanted a new sculpt since they did it in Wave 2, and that one looked like Adventure Sonic, sorta. But mine has a problem with standing, obviously, you can see right here. One of his legs are perfectly fine, but the other one cannot just stay balanced at all. Also, he was a re-release in Wave 13. Forgot to mention that, too. Nothing about the paint or sculpting is bad at all either, I'm saying. It's just, these are re-releases, and I'm getting really tired of it. And yes, Sonic is my favorite character. Knuckles is great too. But again, I think it's time for new characters instead of you re-releasing characters or making their articulation horrible at most, because at times they could pop right off and there's a way you can put them back on, but they'll come right back off. Like, there is no way you can actually, like, save this figure, any of these figures, honestly. Like, once they're gone and can't be snapped back together, it's done for. I mean, yeah. So, now, on to the best figures. We're gonna start with Big the Cat. This figure also, it's been a long time since we actually seen the Big the Cat figure. Again, since Jazzwares we've seen one, and this took a long while to see, but we got him now, and it's cool. So, this is one of the best figures, honestly, that's happened, and it was exciting to see that they're starting to do more branching out with more Sonic characters instead of these two, or another Tails again, but I'm not complaining about Tails anymore because, yeah, that was my cat's name. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, so this was the best one out of the wave. The paint, everything is accurate. I love it, but the only thing I had the problem with that it came with is rings. Yes, you could keep using the rings for stuff like the play sets and whatever, but that's not my problem. I don't sort of mind that, but if you're putting it with a character that could likely come with something better than what you put it with, then there's more opportunity for that figure to sell 10 times better and have the most sales of the year instead of throwing in more rings. I'm talking about Big's fishing pole. They could have done that or thrown in Froggy. Either one of those two would have done well and would have been the best seller of probably the year, and until the next wave comes around, which was Wave 13 and Wave 14. Those would have been the best sellers too, and they pretty much are. But I mean, this would have hit it like the best, real best at most, if they put the fishing rod or Froggy in it. But I still like this figure nonetheless. And we're going to go with Chaos next. So Chaos here is perfect beyond belief, honestly. I don't know what else to really say about him, but he's just amazing. Like, seriously amazing. Like, holy moly. Like, he's one of the, definitely the best figures. Also one of the surprising figures that we've gotten. And this guy is from Sonic Adventure, out of all games that they've made. And I'm pretty sure we haven't had any Chaos merch since that plushie back from Adventure. I don't know if we ever got an actual figure of him. You guys will have to let me know if we did, but I'm not too sure from my memory. But, yeah. And I like that he also came with the Master Emerald because it represented very well of, you know, him in a couple of scenes in Sonic Adventure near it or with it when Decault was with him and whatever, you know? We still need Decault Jakks. Can you do that, please? Please. But anyway, that was another one of the best figures of all time. So, what? I didn't see this before. Huh? That's something. Did he have a tail? Because if he did, that might have broke off. Anyway, let's not keep focusing on what happened to Chaos here. I'll figure it out. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure in the future, this guy will be very rare. And he probably already is right now as we're speaking. So, yeah. Time for Wave 12. Alright, here we got Wave 12. So we'll start with the best to worst figures. So obviously, we're getting this one out of the way. And, I mean, he isn't the worst, I'll be honest. But they could have done some improving, but I'll explain more on that later. So Jet the Hawk is one of the best figures because this is one of the figures we haven't gotten since also Jazzwares days. Jazzwares. And Jakks is stepping it up way further and actually starting to expand more because they probably know one day they're not going to be able to renew the license for this unless they always can. I mean, it's their decision, I believe, to renew a license. But, yeah, I mean, this is amazing. Like, there's no paint errors or anything on mine, but the sculpt is amazing. The paint job and everything. I can't get over it. It's amazing. Jakks just needs to keep it up, especially that he came with his, because at first we were concerned, because I'm pretty sure in the leaked images we saw him with, he was going to come with, like, rings or something, I'm pretty sure, but thank goodness Jakks decided to put him with his hoverboard instead, because that fits way better, and I love that it comes with it, which makes it an even more rare figure, and everything else, like, yes, Jakks. I'm just so impressed with him. I'm happy. So yeah, that was Jet. And now Super Silver. Now, I have mixed feelings on Super Silver. I like him. I just have mixed feelings because his color is kind of like the same as Shadow, and that's why he got the name Banana Shadow and whatever, you know. I would have thought in the color would have been more like the 3-pack that they put out with the, you know, the Supersonic with at least something like this or something, you know? A little bit better than that. But, I mean, I still really like this figure because, again, since Jazzwares days, we have not gotten this one. So, it's amazing to see that we got this one, and I'm happy for it. And, of course, he comes with the last Chaos Emerald, but if you already had it beforehand from probably, like, the Advent Calendar or some other one, then, I mean, you have it. But I also think it actually comes with the... I think it came with the Sonic, the collector's figure Sonic. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, he's still great. So now let's get on to the worst figures. We're going to start with this one. This one needs to die. I'm sorry, but this one needs to just die or something because it's horrible. That smile is horrible. This one always has a hard time standing up for me. It always used to. But now it's like, it wants to stay, but you have to just put it in a certain spot to help him stand. But my real problem that made me say that was because of the smirk. It's ugly. It's just too ugly for me to actually like this figure. I'm sorry, but for their first effort, Classic Sonic, to come back again when I was hoping for Jakks to bring back the Classic Sonic I actually enjoyed from Wave 10 to Wave 12, they didn't do. Like, come on. I don't like looking at this one. I'm sorry, but I just don't. I mean, like, I should sell him or something, but I gotta kind of keep him, because, like, he was one from one of the original waves that came out, so. Anyway, okay, so now this one I'm not saying is the worst, but it's a rare release again, and the fact that this one came with the gadget from Sonic Colors sucked, because you'd have to buy re-release just to get the gadget. And what they could have done was at least change Tails a little bit. Maybe like the expression, give him like a, I don't know, a serious look, a sad look or something. Like, you could have done something different with him to make him look different, and kept either the Tails like this, or I think would have been a lot better was keep the Tails the way they were from, is he over here? I don't think so. But I'll bring out this one because, yeah, oh, he's over on the other shelf. But, yeah, those Tails would have been a lot better to use than, those ones. But, I mean, it's still a pretty good figure, so I'll still give it to him. So, yeah. So, obviously, we got leaks of Wave 13 at the same time of Sonic Prime Wave 1. Getting leaks and dropping out and whatever, so we might as well start with this before we move on to Wave 13, at least Wave 1 of the 4-inch figures. Prime Sonic is really good. I have to say, it's one of the best figures that they put out, and I'm actually surprised with their whole effort that they put in for him. And I love that he has a whole bunch of articulation to do, and he's taller than the other ones. And I mean, he's more playable. You can play with him a little more. But these always have the habit of like not wanting to stand up, and it's because of their articulation or ball joints that make them just do that. And they aren't able to stand, and I have 2 of them that have this problem. We'll go over that in a minute. But I do like Prime Sonic from Wave 1, so he is good. He's good. Now, I do like 9 from also Wave 1, so he's another one of the best figures. But my problem is that he cannot stand. No matter how much I try, when I do it like that, either when I come back home from school or something like that, he is back to sitting like that, or he's back to sitting like this. So, obviously, there's something wrong with either the 9 robotic tails or something that isn't making him stand, or it's just the ball joint at his feet that's not helping him. And, I mean, I'm not saying he's the worst because he's really, really good, but it's just the ball joints on these guys that I have to say. Just the ball joints. So for him, he's actually pretty great, and I really like how the hair can move. So yeah, that's another one of the best ones, so I'm not complaining about any of them. I just don't like the fact that they can't stand. So if you guys have a Thorn Rose, I'm not sure if all of you have this problem, but just hold on. Whenever I try to stand her on my shelf, or if I'm going to stand her for a review, that happens. That even happened when I was taking a picture for Instagram, to show it off on there. And she always kept falling, so I had to stand her on like something like this to keep her standing, or do it like that, because you have to put her in a certain pose to do that. And out of all the ones in this wave, she has the worst articulation, and the ball joints are just horrible, because she just will not stand by herself unless you do something like this, or if you try your best to stand her on the back of something. But other than that, if you don't have her support by the hammer or somewhere for the back of her head to stay, she'll just collapse. Again, this is not the worst figure, so it's still a pretty good one. I just don't like that she has to be the one in the wave that has the worst articulation ever. It sucks, because these are all great figures, but they always got to find... I feel like this isn't intentional, but always when you make a figure, something's always got to be wrong with it, and there's not always a fix for it, or they'll try to fix it later on. But, like, I think at least they should do better with what they're doing, and if they ever re-release Thorn Rose sometime. Please help her stand a little instead of collapsing like that. I mean, she just stood for me for then, but I was the one that pushed her down like that. But either way, it doesn't matter. She'll fall. So that's why I always keep her like this on the shelf, because she just doesn't want to, you know, stand. Anyway, that was it for Prime Wave 1. Now we'll move on to Wave 13. Also, before we do that, when I said I will go over all of them throughout the year of, you know, the figures, not the 2.5 inch ones. Not at least in today's video, because I'm pretty sure the 4 and 5 inch figures here, and with already what pile we just got done with, I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, this is probably going to be almost like 20-30 minutes. And I don't want it to be that long, so I'm going to cut it up. This one will be about 4 or 5 inch figures, and then the next one will be about all the 2.5 inch figures. So, yeah. Here we got Wave 13 now. So we're going to start from the best. We'll just start from the best. So we'll just push these two out of the way. He's a medium. I'll go over why after these two. So Cream is the first one we've ever gotten since, I think, Toy Island it was. So it's been a while since we got her, and it's great to have her again. So she's a really good figure. Sculpting, everything, painting, detail, everything is there. Everything is accurate. Sometimes it's hard for her to stand, and I get why. I think so. I mean, she's a small figure, though, so she should be able to, but, like, sometimes she just falls on me, so I just kind of leave her there. But, yeah, she's one of the good figures. So, Infinite, he always has a problem standing for me. I get why. That big head, that really big head. So you kind of just have to put his tail down right there and make him stand somehow. Now, this is another one of the best figures because, again, I'm pretty sure we haven't gotten this one since Tomy. Yeah, since Tomy. And that was the first Infinite, and that was horrible. This one is the best one that they made yet. Again, they know, like, they know what they're doing, and they know everything. Like, this is why Sonic merchandise is great, depending on, you know, what kind of Sonic merch we're talking about. But either way, this is still great. I still like it. I still really, really enjoy it. And this is one of the best Infinite figures. To the sculpt, to the painting, to everything on here is great. So I'm really happy with this one as well. Also, he came with the Phantom Ruby. That is another great thing about Infinite. So, I'm proud of that. Anyway. Here we got one of... it's just the same Sonic again that we just already went over, so I shouldn't have to explain it, except he comes with a skateboard this time. The skateboard at least makes up for it a little bit, but I only like the skateboard from this figure. I don't like this figure. It's just the same exact Sonic from Wave 1 and the other ones, so yeah, I mean, I like the skateboard though. Anyway, Metal Sonic. I do appreciate that he came back. He came back in a re-release wave, because there's one wave that was re-release, but mine for the head didn't come off until near Wave 13 time, so that's why I bought another one. But I'm glad that that happened that day, because Metal Sonic was being re-released again, so I can just re-buy him again and not have to worry. And, I mean, he's still over there at Walmart, so if something happens to this one, I can just get another one again. So, it's not that big of a deal, unless, you know, you have to start buying them online now, but so far I've still seen him, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, I still really like this figure. He was first introduced in Wave 2, and the sculpt painting, whatever, is great about him, but I always have the problem with the legs here. They always do, like, this certain weird pose here, and you have to, like, fix it, whatever, yourself, so it's kind of iffy, but, I mean, hey, I do like him. So, we're going to finally get on to the last wave of it all. So, I mean, if you want me to do another one of these as well, after I do the 2.5 inch ones, or before I do the 2.5 inch ones, that's fine too. So I can just go through Wave 1 through 9, That way we have most of the side completed. But again, I'm only, like I said, I'm only doing this year. So that was wave 10 to 14. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get them out right now. And here they are. Sorry, my voice is it's everywhere today. So these three are the best. This one is an eh. But for you guys, it's probably the best. I'll go over that later. I want to go over the best ones at least first. They finally decided to step up the game and make a Frontier Sonic. Different expression, everything. He can sort of stand, which I wish he could, because I could like pose him like this and then like kind of zoom into him and put like a Frontier's background or something. But yeah, this is a really good Sonic, and I really like this one. At first I thought it was just another smirking Sonic until we got to see more closer up pictures. And then, I mean, the leaked images didn't really do it well either for him. They just looked sad. Or he looked like something else until the figure came out itself, and he has an angry expression like from Frontiers. So, I still do really like this one either way. So, yeah, finally a new one. Now, after so long, we finally got a new Knuckles compared to the one I complained about. The shoes are a lot better on this one. Way much more accurate, and this time the smile is a lot more better, and overall around the figure is just a lot better in sculpting wise and everything else. So this is another perfect one. Now time for the last good one, Blaze the Cat. We have not gotten Blaze the Cat since Jazzwares days. We're getting a lot since we haven't gotten from Jazzwares days, which is kind of funny, but I mean, I'm glad, because at least we get to see them again, but in Jakks form. I still really like this, either way though. Sculpt down to the sculpting, the coloring, whatever. Everything is perfect about this figure. I'd want nothing changed about it. And if it gets a re-release, sign me up for it. Because, I mean, I'll buy another one. I really don't mind buying another one. I really like this figure. Also, the other fact that she came with a Soul Emerald. That's another good thing. Sonic came with a 10-ring monitor. I didn't mind it too much. I forgot, he came with another one of these, which was, they could have done better. But, Shadow here. So, he is good. He's great, you know, just like from Wave 1, and then we haven't seen him until Wave 8. And then all of a sudden, apparently, people didn't have him, and they really wanted him. Didn't matter to them. And Jakks re-released him finally in Wave 14, which gave people an opportunity to get him again. I like him. But since I've had him since Wave 1, I feel iffy on the re-release, to be honest. I'm glad that people can get him now, but on my perspective, I'm iffy about it. Because I think at this point, we've had so many re-releases that I'm just like, no more. Please no more, unless someone doesn't have, you know, the figure. Just no more. But I do have to say, it's good, sculpting-wise and everything, it's perfect. I'd want nothing changed about this one either, so... And if you're wondering where the Shadow from Wave 14, when I reviewed it... Boop, 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 boop. He's right there next to Sonic. Also, if you're wondering why a whole bunch of stuff is in my closet, because... I don't have room for it. All out here. There's no room for it. At all. None. Zero. So, yeah. That's why. If I had a way bigger room, I'm pretty sure I could put the boxes anywhere. But, yeah. Anyway. I mean, that was it. That was basically it. If you guys want me to go over Wave 1, 2, or anything, I mean, whatever. That's fine. I can do that. I can definitely do that. But for now, that's it. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I'm not going to enjoy putting all the figures back, but I have to, so they're not on the floor to get, like, smushed or anything, and so they're still in good condition. So, yeah, anyway, that was it, guys. So, I actually forgot about Prime Wave 2 by the end of the recording as I was putting everything back. But, here they are. So, we'll just start with the basic one, Boss Cage Maze Sonic. He's great, actually. He's amazing. And I even have another one of him in box. That's how much I really like that figure. So anyway, he's like one of the best ones. So he's great. The articulation is great. The sculpting is great. And he stands perfectly well compared to, you know, like the Thorn Rose and whatever. And surprisingly, since mostly these two are from Boss Cage Maze, I'm kind of surprised with how well they can stand. But I mean, yeah. Also have another Thorn. But I mean, that I'm not taking out because you never know. I'm also waiting to get these two in box. I want these two in box. Anyway, it's a great figure, I'll be honest. So there's Boss Cage Maze Sonic. Gnarly Knuckles. I was not expecting this one out of the wave. I don't like Gnarly Knuckles all that much, but I do like the figure. I do like the sculpting. I do like everything about him. He's a pretty good figure, so he's also one of the best figures. Honestly, every one of these in the Wave 2 is great, especially Rusty Rose. So it's just like the 2.5-inch one, but scaled up in a lot better looking since the 2.5-inch figures don't get as much detail since they're a smaller version of 5 and 4-inch figures. And then Shadow, of course, which is great because we have not gotten him until Wave 2, and people are probably hoping, and since Jax knows, hey, Shadow's almost everyone's favorite character, so let's throw him in. So yeah, there's Prime Wave 2. These are all the best figures. Now I can get to editing and whatever else and enjoy my day. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.